Well, good morning to you all on Wednesday the 22nd of August. The battle goes on and the only people who don't seem to understand it are government. I've talked about predatory pricing, Woolworths offering lower prices to knock off competition and then jacking the prices up once the competition's been knocked out of the ring. Then yesterday I spoke about Angus and Robertson and others, Coles as well, using mafia tactics against small business suppliers that unless they hand over cash, those suppliers will be blacklisted. You won't get your stuff on the shelves. How the hell does the federal government allow this to happen? Well, interestingly, in the UK, their version of the ACCC, the UK Competition Commission, are in the process of a heavyweight investigation into the major supermarket chains in Britain to examine whether they control too great a share of the UK food retail market and whether they're making excessive profits and overcharging customers, whether they control too great a share. Well, in the UK, the largest 5 chains have about 50% of the market, and this is causing concern. In Australia, 2 firms, Woolworths and Coles, have 80% of the market, and our ACCC doesn't think it's a problem. Yet you're paying higher interest rates now because the Reserve Bank is worried about inflation. Well, between 1990 and 2006, food price inflation in the UK was 32%. In Australia, 68%. In other words, when your interest rates go up, there's a massive Woolworths factor in all that. But while the UK Competition Commission conducts an investigation because of their serious concerns about big supermarkets on consumers and competition, here in Australia we've got the most concentrated supermarket sector in the world with the developed world's highest food inflation, with supermarket prices spiralling ever upwards and government and the ACCC walk around with blinkers on, asleep at the wheel. Had the Trade Practices Act been strengthened here, we'd have increased competition. Coles and Woolworths would have more business competitors, there'd be lower food inflation and less pressure on interest rates. I wonder would that also mean the government doing better at the polls? Is there a Woolworths factor in that as well? Is the consumer just fed up? If Labor to win government, they should hand out a certificate of appreciation to Graham Samuel and all those in government who've done nothing about a useless Trade Practices Act. And on Angus and Robertson and Coles and the demands to suppliers to hand over cash or you'll be blacklisted, listen to this. In the UK, the Competition Commission there have just announced an investigation into the 2 largest supermarket chains, allegedly threatening suppliers to do the same thing. In other words, give us discounts or you'll be blacklisted. And the Competition Commission in the UK has demanded that Tesco and Asda submit all emails, written correspondence and taped phone calls between themselves and their suppliers over a 5-week period around June this year. In Britain, government and its instrumentalities are prepared to do something about the bullies on behalf of the consumer. Here we just seem to want to line the pockets of giant corporations, watch prices go up and wonder why interest rates follow them. Put simply, can you imagine that Woolworths, Coles, Angus and Robertson and others can demand cash from small business and attempt to blackmail them, and small business has no one they can turn to and no recourse to justice? It's like dealing with the Gambino crime family, except the authorities went after them. Here, big business seems free to practice its extortion. I'm Alan Jones.